Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, Alhamdulillah that we have finished 4 weeks, and we also have taken 2 small quiz, and now we are going to a new section of the Surah Al-Baqarah starting from ayah 40. Before we start, very quickly, we just want to go through what we did so far, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the message in a very quick summary. As we know that in the Surah Al-Baqarah start with that this is a book from Allah, there is no doubt about it, and this book is a guidance for muttaqun and muflihun. Then Allah started that the people, there are 3 types of people, one who has the iman, the muttaqun people, and then we have the people who has kufr in their heart, and then Allah started a big description about the people of munafiqun. With the people of munafiqun, Allah gives 2 examples. Allah also said that Allah is not shy to give an example of a small animal like mosquito. Excellent. And then also Allah went after that the story of Adam alayhi salam. And in the story of Adam alayhi salam, as we say, this story comes to the Quran 7 times, and this is the first time. And Allah said that what Allah decided, and then Allah told the angels that He had planned to make a Khalifa into the earth, but the angels were say no, we shouldn't, because we are doing tasbih. What's the point creating someone who's going to create fasad in the world? But then Allah said no, this is what's going to happen. Then the Iblis topic came up that Iblis didn't do the sujood and how he became a kufur. So we finished up to there. And at the end of the ayah 39, Allah said that people who have kufr in their heart, they will be in the hellfire for eternity. So, and then just after this one, Allah talk about these 2 ayah about Bani Israel. And in the first ayah, Allah is saying, O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and fulfill my covenant to you that I fulfill. Also Allah said that I believe in what I have sent down. So basically what Allah is saying, why does Allah bring Bani Israel here? You have to understand the Quran, especially Surah Al-Baqarah, is a lot of stories about the Bani Israel. If you think even today, the Jewish community is a very small community. There's not too many people in Jewish now. If you compare to the Christianity, even with the Buddhists, even with the Hindus, they're much less. But Allah brought this because this is the nation that Allah chose. This is the nation Allah gives them the quality and highness. Why? Because Allah sent him guidance after guidance, guidance after guidance, prophet after prophet, Rasul after Rasul. And still they didn't stick to their covenant. They didn't fulfill the treaty with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you can say. So there are 3 main reasons that Allah mentioned here, that they are the people with most guidance, because Allah talked about guidance at the beginning. Then also Allah talked about the rejection of the covenant of Allah. One of the ayah we did before, that Allah said, we said that this is the incident that Allah saying that Allah took a covenant from all of us, all the souls. After Allah created Adam alayhi salam, that Allah to be Rabbikum, and we said, qala bala shahidna. So that covenant also is mentioned here, and also for the Muslims of the Medina, because this is the first time the Muslim community in Medina, as you know, the Surah Al-Baqarah in Medina and Surah, they became contact with the Jewish people for the first time. And Jewish, as we mentioned, even in our Sirah we mentioned that they are the people with the knowledge, people with the book. And Makkah and Medina, both Ansar and people from Makkah, they used to think they are high quality people, and which they are. They were the high quality people, they were the knowledgeable people. So this is why Allah mentioned here. And also one thing you have to remember, that we mentioned in Surah Al-Fatiha, that whenever Allah talks about any other nation, we should not think only about those nations. Allah is telling them so that we don't make the same mistake. So any advice given to Bani Israel, anything historically mentioned here, we should think that we could be also among them if we don't follow that. That's why Allah said, غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَالضَّالِّينَ. I didn't say غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُبِ النَّصَارَى وَيَهُودًا. Although these are the 2 things Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, that this means Allah is pointing here to the Yehud and to Christian, this ayah meaning. But still Allah didn't mention their name, because there is a possibility that we Muslim could be also among the Ghairul Maghdubi Alaihim Waladdallin. So that's why Allah mentioned here. There's one word here, the word faribun, means like getting shock and fear both together. So Allah is saying, only me you should fear of. Why Allah mentioned this to him? Because some of the Jewish people at that time, when the Rasulullah came to the Medina, they wanted to become Muslim. And you know the story of, I think his name was Abdus Salam. he is one of the rabbi of the Jewish, and he became Muslim. But he told Rasulullah, look, when I become Muslim, my people will reject me completely. Although they respect me and everything, but as soon as they listen that I'm accepting Islam, they will reject me. So this is a fear they have inside, although they have the truth. So Allah said, no, you shouldn't fear anything else. You should accept Islam, you should accept the book that I said. And in the ayah also Allah mentioning that, the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah mentioned here, Allah also pointing out to Torah and Injil that, I have sent down Torah and Injil to you. And the Torah and Injil has the mentioning of Quran, has the mentioning of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah mentioned this before also. So here basically Allah is saying that you people, you Bani Israel, you rejected me, although I have favored you a lot. And which is very similar to the story of Iblis, because Allah favored Iblis also. Allah gave him the highest rank, and he was a good worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But because of the arrogance, he became what he became. So this is what Allah says here. The next two ayah is Allah is saying, وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Very nice ayah, It's saying Allah that don't mix truth. Allah is telling the Bani Israel and people of the Jewish, they don't mix truth with the falsehood, and nor can conceal the truth. Don't hide the truth also. And this is an advice for us also. We shouldn't mix the truth. Why Allah say mixing the truth? Because they have the knowledge, they know the truth. So they can mix the truth with their own lies and make it a different thing. Because when you know the truth, then there's one thing that you don't know the truth. You don't know anything about this incident. But one thing that you know, and you know how to twist it. And that's what they have been doing it. So Allah said two commands regarding the belief or knowledge. What is this two command? That, you should not mix it with the falsehood, and you should not hide it. And also, both indicating people to the knowledge of the Jewish community, and there are then other commands, waqimus salah. Allah is telling them to re-establish the salah. Meaning, they also have a salah from their sharia. They have a salah. Allah is saying, waqimus salah wa atuz zakah. Allah commanding them the salah and zakah to the Bani Israel. Because this is also they had it, and also Allah is saying, wa arka'u ma'ar raqin. Arka'u ma'ar raqin mean do ruku. Basically, the literal meaning is do ruku with the people who are doing ruku. And this is a very nice indication. What Allah is saying, look, you Bani Israel, you have your salah, you have your zakah, but from now on, you have to start doing ruku with the people who are doing ruku. Meaning what? People, the Jama over there, the Ansar, who are following the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go and join them. Go and join them. And also one word, very interesting word, the ruku. As we all know, ruku in English means bow down. That we all do, right? Ruku. But in Arab tradition, ruku means when a people became a bankrupt, completely bankrupt. He has no power over anything. He is helpless and he has nothing to do. So he had something before. He was a rich people or something, like he has a able people, but now he has nothing with him. That person in Arab in tradition, in pre-Islamic history, they used to call this guy is in ruku. Meaning he is completely gone, he is helpless. So when we do ruku, we should feel the same way, that we are helpless from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is compared to us is nothing. We should not have any arrogance. That's why the ruku means. That's why when you do ruku, you become so humble and you should feel in your heart that, oh, I am ruku to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am completely helpless, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just why before the ruku, what we say? We say, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. And then we go to ruku. We go to humble position. The last ayah for today, ayah number 44. And this one is a very interesting. Allah saying here, enjoin you albir. Albir means like, doing good things, pious things, righteous things. And every act of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the people, but you own yourself, you forget. So you tell someone to do some good, but you yourself forget. And then at the end, Allah said, Afala taqilun. Afala taqilun. Don't you even understand what you're doing? And this is a very important lesson for us also. That, if you don't practice something, you can't just say other to do that. Well, that's what Allah means here. But it does not mean you cannot advise anyone. What it means basically that you have to be humble in your advising. Meaning what? Suppose I am not a Hafizul Quran, but I can advise my brother, younger brother, that you should become a Hafizul Quran, you have a time and everything, but at the same time I should tell him that, look, I have some situation, I cannot be Hafiz now, this I'm trying my best and this is something like this. But you shouldn't ask someone that, you do this, but you don't follow himself. What Allah mean here, this is also a instruction to Bani Israel. Bani Israel, they had their madrasa over there in their community. They had their halakha and everything. And in their halakha, they used to read Torah and Injil and everything. And they used to say that, we're waiting for a prophet. That's one of their main reasons that historians say that they became in Medina. They came to Medina from Yemen long time because they had their book that, this is the place the last prophet will come. That's why they came there. And they were waiting for him. Once he came, Rasulullah came, as Allah mentioned, and we will went through this ayah also, that they know him like they know their own son. Then they start to saying their own people, their sheikh, their imam is to say, look, yes, he is okay, but he's not from our nation. So he's just trying to mix the everything with the falsehood. Just because of arrogance, just because Rasulullah is not from Bani Israel, they start rejecting him. And they start mixing the falsehood with the truth. They start hiding the truth from their own people. And that's what happened here. So Allah is saying, you advise them before the two good deeds and everything, wait for the prophet, follow the prophet. Now the prophet came and you turn around. And the last thing here mentioned that, the akil. The akil word, as you all know, this is also a word we use in our Bangladeshi, in Urdu also. Akil. Akil means brain, intellect. But in Arabic language, akil means, the literal meaning is to tie something. So, even say like if a lady is tying her hair, or you are tying some ropes, they use the word akil. And I think the Arab people, when they put in the head, on the top, the round thing, the black round thing, that is also comes from akil. And they used to do it because with this one, they used to tie their camel. So they used to go somewhere, tie the camel with this one, so they used to keep it in their head. But now it's become like one of the dress code or something. So that is from akil. And akil means, what do you tie? You tie your emotion, positive and negative emotions. So when you tie your emotion, a person with intellect, he has the knowledge, and not only knowledge, he knows how to control his emotion. And emotion doesn't mean always positive things. So you don't go too much extreme in your deen, and you don't go too much extreme on the other side also. So you're with intellect, with your knowledge, no, this is what I should do. Now, if I feel like to, punch some brother because I don't like him, but I'm in a masjid, or I'm outside, I should say, no, as a Muslim, I should not do this. So I'm using my intellect. I'm tying up my emotion of punch him, but no, I don't want to do this. Because this is not allowed in Islam. If I don't like something, I should go and talk to him first, and take advice from someone else, or do something else. This is called akal. And the opposite of the akal is jahil. And jahil may have knowledge, but he don't have the power to tie up the things, tie up the emotions. And that's why he make mistakes. And that's why Abu Jahl, he was a nice person. Nice person in the sense he had properties, he has knowledge, and he was a leader of one of the team. But everybody called him Abu Jahl because although he has knowledge, but he rejected him. He was arrogant because, and he said one of the place that Rasulullah is not from his tribe, he's from Banu Hashim, and he said, no, we cannot compete with Banu Hashim. They have a prophet. Why don't we have a prophet? All these things. So, and that's why they give him a name, Abu Jahl. So akal and jahil is the two things that Allah mentioned here with these two words here. So inshallah we'll finish it here today. Jazakallahu khair. Tomorrow inshallah we'll go from ayah number 45. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.